Okay, so now I'm going to explain to you what we do after the child has completed their mastery exam. So you're going to score it and fill out the progress report to return to their teacher. So first, as you can see, she read all the sounds perfectly, nothing incorrect, so I'm giving her the full credit of 6, and I'm checking her letters. She did everything correctly, so another 6. And we'll move on to the second page, which is the word reading. I don't show any mistakes here, so she's going to get a 6. And down here, I could mark her wrong on this one because she did write am first, but I gave her a verbal prompt instead to listen carefully and let her figure out what the mistake was and redo it correctly. So it really isn't going to make a huge difference in the overall, whether she gets a 4 or a 3 on this part, because she had 6s everywhere else. So whether you want to work with your student a little bit and get them to identify and correct their mistake is up to you. It depends on how much time you have, if you think the student is capable, a lot of things that you'll become more comfortable with and familiar with later. I'm going to give her a 4 because I think it's excellent that she was able to identify the mistake and correct it. Okay, so then you want to get the progress report out of your binder, and this is the only part that stays out of the folder. All of this is going to go back into the folder and stay in the crate for that child. The progress report, you want to put the student's name, the date that you have given the exam or the mastery exam, and dear teacher, these are the skills I have worked with my Sound Partners tutor. Oh, so it's from the student to the teacher. So we're just telling her everything here. And then you can make notes and observations from the last set of lessons on this test. And my comments for this mastery exam and this student would be that the student does an excellent job, is a very hard worker, and follows directions well. And I would probably make a note about her being able to identify and correct a mistake, because that's an important skill. And then you mark down here how the student will proceed. Student met goals for each section and will continue, definitely. Student scored below the goal on 1 or more sections. Tutor will provide additional review or redo lessons and test before continuing to the next lesson. So even if this is the outcome, you want to pass that along to the teacher, because eventually they're going to ask about the progress, and if they see that we're not making good progress, they'll wonder why. So it's good to just keep them in the loop and say, hey, they're just not blending the third sound. We're going to stay back here. They can blend the first 2, but the third one's just not coming yet. So don't move forward. Don't move forward until they've mastered that. It's great to have 100% and get your kid through it quickly, but if you move them ahead too quickly, they're not going to be solid on any of it. Okay, so this part you return to the teacher. It's not a bad idea to hand it to her in case she or he has any questions, or if you don't want to interrupt because you've already sent your student back, you can just put it in their box in the office.
And the rest of the tasks go to the file.
Back in the file,
Okay.
stays in the file.
Perfect.